The dirt road hummed with cicadas as the sun dipped low behind the fields. Dust clung to boots. The smell of hay hung in the air. They thought no one important lived out here. Mara walked beside her younger brother, Eli, carrying a crate of eggs from the coop to the old pickup. She moved quietly, deliberately, the way people do when they've learned that calm keeps the world steady. Eli talked about school, about a quiz, about a game he wanted to play. Mara listened. She always did. Life on the farm wasn't loud. It was honest. The laughter came from the road. A car slowed, then stopped. 3 teens climbed out, city clothes sharp against the soft brown of the fields. They eyed the crate, the truck, the quiet girl who didn't look back. "Hey," one called. "Got milk too?" Another snorted. "Look at them. Country famous." Eli shrank a little closer to Mara. She felt it, the shift in his steps, the way fear tightens before it shows. Mara placed the crate down gently and turned, keeping her voice even. "Please," she said. "We're just finishing up." They stepped closer anyway. Not touching. Not yet. Just crowding. One kicked a pebble. Another mimicked Eli's stutter. Phones lifted, half ready. Mara remembered the farm before this, before she'd come home, before the nights when the wind through the barn sounded like waves against a hull, before she learned to breathe through pressure, and read intent in a posture. She didn't want to use any of that here. "Back to your car," she said quietly. They laughed. "Or what?" Mara didn't answer. She placed herself between them and Eli, feet planted in the dirt. She raised one hand, open palm, non-threatening. "Eli whispered, Mara." "I've got you," she said. One of the teens reached toward Eli's backpack, tugging a strap. It was careless, thoughtless, enough to tip the moment. Mara moved, not fast, not aggressive, just precise. She redirected the reach away, stepping into space without striking, breaking contact, creating distance. The teen stumbled back, surprised more than hurt, landing on the dust with a startled yelp. Silence fell. Mara stepped back immediately, hands open again. "We don't want trouble," she said. "Leave." The phones dropped. The bravado leaked out. The teens glanced at each other, confused by the calm, by the absence of chaos they'd expected. A truck approached from the far end of the road. Neighbors. Farm folk who knew the rhythm of evenings. And when something felt wrong, the teens backed away, muttering, scrambling into their car. "Dearest spoon." Dust lifted. They were gone. Eli's shoulders shook then. Mara knelt. Eye level. Steady hands on his. "You okay?" He nodded, swallowing. "You didn't hurt them." "I didn't need to," she said. Word traveled the way it does in small places. By the next morning, neighbors stopped by with pie and concern. Someone offered to fix the fence by the road. The school called to check on Eli. No one asked Mara where she learned to move like that. Not yet. At the town meeting that week, the sheriff spoke about respect and boundaries, about watching out for one another. He thanked whoever kept a cool head. Mara sat in the back, listening. She hadn't planned to stay long when she came home to help after their father passed. She hadn't planned to unpack the part of herself that learned discipline far from fields and fences. She'd served quietly, trained hard, learned that the strongest tool wasn't force. It was judgment. Eli found out by accident. They were fixing a gate when he asked, "Why do you know how to do that?" Mara smiled. "I learned a few things away from home. Like fighting. Like protecting," she corrected. "And choosing not to." At school, things changed. Eli's classmates walked him home. Teachers paid closer attention. The teens from the road didn't come back. One afternoon, a stranger pulled into the drive. He wore a simple jacket, carried himself with the ease of someone used to responsibility. He introduced himself politely. A community liaison, he said, checking on a report. Mara listened, answered calmly. When he mentioned training, she nodded. I served, she said, simply. His eyes softened. Thank you. The next town event was a harvest picnic. Long tables. Laughter that stayed warm. Kids ran between stalls. Mara stood by the grill, flipping corn, Eli at her side. The same teens appeared at the edge of the field, hesitant. They didn't cross the line. One of them approached, hands visible, eyes down. I'm sorry, he said, for what we did. Mara nodded. Thank you for saying that. He hesitated. We didn't know. She raised a hand gently. It shouldn't matter. He swallowed, nodded, and walked away lighter than he arrived. As dusk settled, a small plaque was placed near the community board. No names. Just words chosen by the kids. Strength is choosing kindness when you could choose more. Eli read it twice. That's you. Mara shook her head. That's all of us. Later, when the fields fell quiet again, Mara and Eli walked the road home. The cicadas sang. The dust settled. Are you staying? Eli asked. Mara looked at the stars, bright and steady. Yeah, she said. I think I am. Kindness didn't make Mara loud. It made her trusted. And in a place where fear once tried to take root, calm courage taught everyone the same lesson. Real strength protects, creates space, and lets others walk safely home.